Well, g'day and welcome back. I'm filming this intro after I've actually made the tool. The idea of this tool actually came from the YouTube channel Make It Extreme. I've been wanting to make one of these rivet nut tools that squash down these nuts, you know, into thin metal, squash down, and you've got a thread insert. Been wanting to make one for a while, and I was just rummaging through YouTube and Google, and I really like their design. So I've left the intro right till last. I contacted them via Instagram, or sent them a message via Instagram. I left a comment on their latest video that I've left. I've tried to contact them via Instagram, but I haven't heard a thing back. All I was just letting them know that I'm building one similar to theirs. It's not exactly the same. It's quite different in a lot of ways, but the idea came from them, and I didn't want to look like I was flogging their idea. But the idea works. So go and check out their channel, Make It Extreme. They've bloody got some awesome builds on there. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this video, and see you when it's all done. Right, yeah, we've got some 50mm material. According to the book of bullshit, 12mm back, got to take it down to 42mm and 42mm thread. It's going to be a left hand thread on there. We should be on the money, all things going well. 41.99, close enough. Okay, that should be enough to put the thread and tool in. Only just, but that's all we need is only just. Righto, I think I'm ready to start this 2mm thread, left-handed thread. Okay, I'm going to leave that thread at that, and I will make the female thread to suit that. Okay, now I've got to open up a 30mm ball, 75mm deep. .05 over. That wasn't a bad guess, was it? Oh, these are nice too. I've got to put a through hole this other end, so I may do that now, and I may go in with this tool off camera and just clean up this back face in there. You're not going to be able to see what I'm not going to be able to see what I'm doing. We're going to be braille, I think. Okay, one of the viewer gifts I had sent in was this long series center drill. perfect for this job, because I went to start a 10mm drill in the end here and it's getting a bit of a wobble at the end, so put the centre drill up and we should be pretty rosy, eh? That's how the internal worked out. It doesn't look too bad. So just got to chuck it up and get it aligned as best I can. And cut it to length, just a couple of mil to come off this face, and start doing the thread. Rightio, machine this down, take the 42mm left hand thread. That should be on 42mm. They put a horn on a jellyfish. There we go. I made that one a touch wider than the last, or the other end too, so. Last pass. Well, thread's done. So that's the bearings I've got. I've got two of these. So 31.5 outside dimension and 3.5mm thicker in total. So I'm going to recess one of them in there. That's plenty good enough. Well, this piece can come out now. I'm pretty happy with that. Piece of scrap. The piece that slides inside the main body has to be 50mm long, I've worked out. So that's what it's going to be. Face it off, run it down to 50mm. It's got to have a M10 thread, 40mm deep, and then on the other end an 8mm thread that matched or joins in with the 10mm. That'll come clear later. So that was 40mm deep on the 8.5mm drill. Chamfer that now and actually tap that M10. So I'm using one of the taps that was donated in from the last video. M10 by 1.5. Bit of Hankstifer's Super Oil tap. Okay, I went back in there by hand off camera and finished tapping that hole. So I've got to part it off now. Fraction over 50 mil. Part it off quite nice. Right, yeah, I've got a millimetre to face off the end of that, and then just chamfer it and tap it. Another piece finished for now, all bar the keyway when I work out where I want to put it later. Okay, just been doing some numbers and working out, and I realised I have made a mistake here. This has to be deeper, or can be deeper, which will reduce the overall length in the end. That's better. So what I'm going to make now is the thread that drives this. It's going to have a flange on it with a thrust washer each side. It's got to have a thread, M10 thread, that'll drive this back and forwards, and have a 19mm bore that comes out this end that'll end up having a hex on it that'll take a socket. Oh, see how close we got to the 10mm. We missed it. 0.02 up. This next diameter has to be 33mm. Well, I'm really glad I didn't run a die down that and done that by hand or single point, because it's got a really nice fit. Look, it's not sloppy. Where you can nearly guarantee if I'd done it with a die, it'd be wouldn't be real good. I'd be interested to see how it spins. Pretty happy with that. This has to be machined down to 19mm at the end, and this will end up having a hex put on it. Just like that. Yep. Tit'll do. Rightio, so what we got here is the body, as you've seen. This will end up having a hex on it, on the top 10 mil say. So we've got a thrust bearing, another thrust bearing. It sits down in there. That's going to get captured by the outer cap. And I'll be able to fine tune by machining off this face. So it's got a little tiny bit of end float, but not a lot. That's just going to make it easy to spin, whether it's going in or pushing it in or pushing it out, whichever way. Yeah. Anyway, I've got to go inside and download this card because it's full. And hopefully the wife's done a bit of cooking and I can go and feed my face again. Been in and downloaded the card. Now, a viewer asked a question about downloading the footage from the SD card into the computer and how long it takes. That was 1 hour 56 minutes worth of footage on the card, and it took roughly 23 minutes or 22 minutes to download into the computer. So, and I run an Apple iMac, so it's not too bad. So I've got another piece of this shaft which will become the end cap. So that'll slide over top and do up on this thread. I'm going to punch a 19mm hole through there. Okay, it's got plenty of movement in there. Now I have to bore this out to the minor diameter of the thread, 18.6mm deep. Okay, well I did screw this one up, it's a bit loose. I just went that fraction too far. There's a little bit of side wriggle, but no up and down. So once the cylinder goes in there, should be pretty good, and the spin's free. So I'll face this off, clean this up, put a nice heavy chamfer on that, make it look pretty, and that end of it's finished. That's how that ended up. It's a shame I put them marks now, because that's chrome finish. That could have just left it as the chrome, but it's going to look shitty with them marks in it. But anyway, rightio, we're going to move on to making the, I'm going to call it the die that sits in the end of the cylinder here, the plunger, if you want to call it that. It's going to have a hex on it. It's going to screw into this here, and whatever size, this one's going to be M5, this will be where the riv nut screws onto. So I want to make this first before I make the end cap. That'll give me how long the end cap's got to be. So I'm going to form the hex first and then put it back in the lathe, put an M10 thread on this end, M5 this end. Actually, I think I might have just told you heap of bullshit. That's meant to be M8, not M10. I don't know what I was thinking there. Obviously not thinking correctly, but anyway. Okay, I'm just going to use a die on these. I'm not going to try and single point thread these, just not in the mood today. Yeah, sloppy as all shit, that's no good. Well, that one's pure and simply a failure. It's too sloppy. I'm going to machine another one up to where I'm at this stage and bring his back. Okay, this is a little bit of a sketchy setup. I've only got it holding by that M8 thread. So off camera, I'm just going to take me sweet ass time and machine this down to 5mm, ready for the M5 thread. So I'm just going to take it real easy. Okay, I've got this down to 5mm. Got a die in here. Could even just end up screwing it off. If it does, I'm going to be pretty pissed, but anyway. So I'm just going to do it by hand. I will bring you back when that is done. That is what we ended up with. Just needs a bit of a deburr there. I've still got to, at some stage, make a 6mm, 8mm one day when I need them in a hurry. Okay, well then, got all set up still, sort of. I may as well put the hex on the drive, and then that part will be completely finished then, and the hose falls off. One day I'd love to buy some proper lock line. It's not the nicest, but it'll do. Okay, I've got a slug up in here of the same material to make the end cap. It's going to be the same as this end, pretty much. The only difference is it's going to have a M14x2 thread in the end. That's the only difference there is. So I'm just going to, I won't worry about filming this one. You've seen this one built, so I'm not going to show it twice. I got that cap made. That's how it ended up, nothing special. It's got an M14 tapped hole in there. Thread turned out pretty good. All there is left to do now is make up an insert that goes in that 14mm thread with a 5.2mm hole or whatever, just to clear the thread that the nut insert pulls up against. Apart from that, I've got to drill one hole in the side here and put a keyway slot in this main piston part, just so it's an anti-rotational thing. I just about got to buy the balls. Oh shit, there's also a handle to make too. I've got to put a handle on it. I forgot about that bit. It's not looking too bad, but It's time to put the slot in for that anti-rotation. So 1/4 inch end mill. Just going to mill a slot to whatever depth I think looks right. What I've got to do now is drill and tap a 6mm thread 40mm in from this end. And that'll be the locking screw. Probably was a bit hard on that cutter in that chrome to start with, but it got over it. That's plenty big enough. That's all it needs. That's all it's getting, so I'll tap that off camera. Okay, I've got that lock screw in, just with a Nylex nut turned around backwards, so it can't come undone. It's got a little bit of side play, probably because I used a 1/4 inch end mill with a 6mm bolt. That's all it's got to be. If it does give grief, I'll modify it later. Just going to use a bit of Y oil on these bearings. Plenty good enough. Put some oil down that thread. And put it back on. Put the cap on. So the last job to do with this is to make a quick release handle. I want it to be super simple, no frills, just got to work. So I think I've come up with an idea with the help of a bit of Trevor's input. I'm just going to get in and make it, and hopefully it works. I've got a ring of unknown material, and this is going to be cleaned up and machined out so it slips over this body. See if that fits. Yep, got a little bit of play, which is good. I want to spin that around now and hold it from the inside and clean the outside up and clean this back face up. Bit of deburring and that'll be good, and just round these corners off with a file. Okay, now what I've got to do is attach that to that in a neat fashion. got an idea. It's going to take a while, so I'll bring you back when I'm getting close to the end. So that's what we ended up with. Turned out alright, really. So what my theory is, I'm going to use the TIG, weld that to that, and then it can just slide on and off. So let me get that welded onto there, and then this tool is as good as finished. Righto, I got the handle welded on. Certainly not the neatest of jobs, but it's on there. And it still fits. It's even a better bonus, isn't it? As with this channel, I do show my mistakes. Now, I had a piece of angle on which I've since put in the bin. I had to use this to put an insert, 5mm insert in. And I just drove with the battery drill. I got a bit heavy-handed and sheared the bastard this thread clean off. Obviously I give it a bit too much oomph. So maybe with these small ones I just do them by hand. Now I only have M5 inserts. I've got to go and buy some more. Some 6mm, 8mm. And when I get them I'll make the different tools up for it. So as you can see, I don't know whether you can see there or not, it's starting to squash up already. I don't want to go too stupid. It unscrews nicely. That's why the handle's got to be quick and easy to come off, so you can remove the tool that is spinning. Obviously I didn't go quite tight enough. So it's all just a learning curve at the moment, I suppose. I suppose once I do a few of them and know the limit and how much pressure I can put on and without going too stupid. It felt like it grabbed fairly good then too. Maybe I didn't go quite far enough. I don't know. I'll try again. It actually looks even better than the first one. Because what I did do with the first one is countersink both sides. You can actually see that there on that other one I done. See I countersunk both sides. On this one here, that's the one that didn't go tight. But this one here is still sitting up. It's actually bitten in, which is good. Yep, it's going up nice and tight. So, just learn something. Don't countersink both sides. We've just got to make up a 6mm, 8mm, and go and buy an assortment packet of inserts at some stage. So that's another tool to the collection. It's something I've been wanting to make for a long time, and when I'm filming this, I still haven't heard back from Make It Extreme, so this idea did come from them. So have checked their channel out. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and see you later. Hooroo.